Hi folks, welcome to the kitchen. I'm going to do a little work on my beach sand sluice system. I haven't been to do anything there at the beach, but I've went and watched. I've come up with an idea of what I want to do to process the sand to extract the gold. A lot of folks start with the hardware rubber matting with the slots in it. So I'm going to use most of that, and in my sluice, and some sawtooth. And Jason over at Flower Gold Wizards and Alan Robertson both use a lot of silicone mats. They make themselves. You can get molds from Alan Robertson, and then you can make your own silicone mat. So I'll show you what I had in mind and what it looks like, and we'll go from there. I'm in the kitchen, as I said, and it's pretty great. My wife's awesome. She hasn't said a thing about it. As a matter of fact, she hasn't said anything to me for quite some time. So we'll look at this here. So this is the box I made. And that's the matting. And I'm going to tape the edges here and here so I don't get too much silicone up on them. And my idea is that the water's going to come in from here. Then I'm going to take silicone, black silicone, and I'm going to actually smear it. You can see where I clean my fingers off here. So I'm going to smear it. So I'm going to make a silicone mat with this stuff. And it may or may not fill in the cracks completely. It doesn't matter to me. Silicone just is really good for sticking with gold. And so it's just a thought that I had that it might work out. Let's see how that goes. And so I'm going to do a little of that. I'm going to set that up, and then I'll show you a little bit of how it fits together with my sluice, which you probably can't see in the shadow there. Okay, so I'm going to take the painter's tape and run it along here best I can. I only needed this much, but oh well. And then I'm going to take this black silicone, and I'm going to use this to smear it on there. Kind of noisy. See if my tip works. Nope. That's the cool thing about being in the kitchen. You got paper towels. Syrup, anyone? Okay, so remember now, this is all theoretical. I've never done this before. We'll see how it works. already got a modification. That looks pretty bad. Doesn't mean it doesn't going to work, but I got a few empty spots, so I got to put quite a bit more on there. But I think it might work out. Now I'll give you a closer look at that. Not that you see much, it's all black anyway, but that's kind of what that looks like. I'll let it dry and see what happens. Now I'll show you my sluice the way it came from the factory and show you what I want to do to it to make it better for flower gold and light gold, the small stuff, because there's a lot of that here where I'm at. And so hang tight and I'll swing it around and you can look at it. Okay, this is how it comes from the factory. Pretty standard. Got carpet in here. These riffles, and then the what they call expanded metal, and then the carpet all the way underneath. And so what I want to do eventually is remove the riffles, and remove the carpet. There might be some pieces of gold in that. I better be careful. So I'm going to use this. More of that floor matting with the ribs, and I'm going to cut this up, and it's kind of shaped the same as the sluice box, and it's not trimmed yet, but it's going underneath the riffles. I just put them down so I could get to it. So you see how it fits in there, like it'll be like that. And this will go here, and then I've got sawtooth that'll finish off. And if I have to cut the matting, looks like I have to cut this rubber shorter, I'm going to do that. So I'll have this, the rubber matting, expanded metal, and sawtooth on here, and we'll see how that does with the capturing. And I think I'll need less water too, so that should work out pretty well. I'll run a test with the whole thing put together and we'll see how that goes. Hang tight.
I was helping my daughter Abby with a phone one time, holding it to the light, get the plastics off, and I turned to her and said, "You got to be careful because you catch it on fire." And she says, "Dad, it's smoking." Burned a big old hole in it. At least I was right. He made some adjustments to the line. Put a clamp in there to hold it straight down. The water seems to be, in my opinion, flowing a little better. What do you guys think? I got enough soap in there? Yeah, oh, I saw that. So, I think so. Somebody said there wasn't any gold in this sand, but this highly technical engineered device that I created proves him wrong. He remained nameless. Bill? Yeah, probably.
It's about as big as an angstrom.
See if we can get you in real close here. All right, we'll come back later when it starts piling up and blocking the water flow. You know, show you all the pounds of gold we got.
It's going to be a while.
This is the concentrates from the sawtooth mesh. It's not sawtooth mesh. This is the this is the concentrates from the sawtooth mat only. So we're gonna pan this out and see what we end up with. I'm pretty excited about going to the beach this summer. I learned a few things running a little bit of sand that I had and playing with the mats I have and stuff. And I think probably that I'm gonna scrap the wooden top piece and just use the sluice with all sawtooth in there and see how that works. I think that'll do just fine. The way I had it set up now, the top wooden sluice actually collected most of the gold. So I could just use that and wouldn't have to buy any sawtooth. But it is kind of small, but the grooves are kind of tiny, so it fills up really fast. And if I use my sluice, I won't have to regulate the water speed. If I use the wooden one, I'm going to have to slow down the water quite a bit, and that just means I have to buy more stuff. So I'm gonna use my sluice, and then I might figure out a way to use the top piece that I had, the wooden sluice, for a cleanup on some other time. The rate of the water that flowed across it in the video you just saw pushed the gold right off the silicone, so I know that it was too fast. When I put the tub in there here at my house, it did a little better. Some of the bigger pieces stuck farther down, but mostly it all got caught in the grooves. So anyway, I learned something, had a good time. I'm pretty excited about getting it set up and going to the beach, doing a little of that, and maybe catch some perch too. Since everybody else is talking about it, I'm going to talk about the COVID-19 virus too. I looked at some stats today, and it has a pretty high death rate, especially in the older people, and you all know that, I'm sure. So it's not silly to be cautious. So I'm going to be cautious. We've been cautious here at the home. Actually, I don't live in a home. Not yet, anyway. We've been cautious here at the house, and so that we can stay healthy. And I hope that you're all healthy, and I hope that you all be careful and look after one another. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it a lot.